everybody, Mountain Grandma here. Today's video is about winter preparedness. And the reason that I'm sharing this video with you is because we have, for the last couple of days, been preparing for some severe winter weather that's going to be coming through our area. And it's actually projected to come through a lot of the area in the United States. For Missouri in particular, it means the potential for an ice storm. And the reason that's the most concerning for us is an ice storm could potentially mean loss of electricity. So we're wanting to make sure we have our bases covered should we lose electricity. And that as far as goes for heating, water, food, and our animals, lighting, all of those things. So since we're doing all of this, I thought I'd share with you all what we've got going on. Now, let's go ahead and get started. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is heating. So when the electricity goes out, our furnace won't work, and we have to rely on alternative sources of heating. What you see here are two buddy heaters. Now this is a smaller one. It's a 9,000 BTU. It'll heat up to about 250 square feet. It can run on one of those 1 pound propane bottles. And we're really using this one kind of as a backup because we're going to use the big buddy heater the most. The big buddy heater is an 18,000 BTU and it will heat up to around like 450, 500 square feet. It can run on two 1 pound propane bottles on each side, but we're going to be connecting it to a 20 pound or 20 gallon propane tank, and we'll have it run to the outside of the house where that propane tank is going to live. A 20 pound or 20 gallon propane tank you really wouldn't want in your house because if there's a leak, things could happen super fast. And according to the research that we did, it could immediately overtake all of the air in a small area very quickly should the equipment on that 20 gallon tank be compromised in any way. So for safety, best to just have that outside your house. Now, when you get one of these and you're planning on doing that, you need to make sure, first off, you get 4 double D batteries. Those go in the back of this device, and that's to run the fan. And then you also want to get a fuel filter if you're going to need a longer hose. Now, we've got this 12-foot hose, and I'll try to zoom in for you guys to be able to see. The 12-foot hose is going to allow us to be able to extend the propane tank outside of the house and like run it through a window or something, the hose. But for this, you have to have a fuel filter. So just make sure that you're aware of all the things you need to be able to use the heater that you're going to spend the money on purchasing. Now, I do want to just kind of put a reminder out there that if you have a fireplace, because our kids, they have a fireplace, so we're making sure that we're stocked up on wood for that fireplace and that we also have gas for our generator. We have 2 different generators for the homes that are on the property. So we're making sure we got gas for both of our generators so that we can run the generators too in case you need to run a small little space heater. So that's everything that we've got covered. Just remembering you want your primary source. You always want a backup source or something else you can fall back on. Now, I didn't picture ours here, but make sure you have a fire extinguisher and carbon monoxide detector. Very important. Now, as far as backup power goes for cell phones, for laptops, we have a Yeti 500X, and we've had this for years. We really love this little guy. You can see here, it keeps you aware of what percentage you're at. And when you have something plugged in, it'll tell you what kind of watts it's pulling from it. But you've got a place to plug in your cell phones to charge them. Different kind of adapters here, just your regular plug-ins for other devices. So we're going to make sure this is charged. We also have 2 different solar panels, which probably won't work when it's like a snowstorm out, but you never know. Maybe if the electricity were to stay down and there was a sunny day, we could recharge this guy. But we've got this for regular backup power. All right, now in regards to lighting, we really like these headlamps. They're LED headlamps, so we can recharge them, which is perfect. And we've got this lantern that runs on batteries. And we never keep batteries in things as we're storing them, just to make sure batteries don't go bad. Of course, your like, you know, high lumen flashlights. And I've got a kerosene lamp over here that we also use, and he's see-through. Let me pull it closer, you can see it better. But there's our kerosene lamp with extra lamp oil. So if we lose electricity, to help be able to see, we have these things. Also for lighting, we do have, of course, a lantern that connects to, move that up a little, that will connect to this guy here. And I went ahead and pulled out our cooking stove so we can talk about cooking and heating up water and things. And we've got two ways of doing that. We can, of course, use this guy here. The little flame on the top says like a one-pot wonder or kettle, you know, to heat up your water in the morning. Gotta have that. And then we also have this little cook stove here, and this actually runs on butane fuel. So that way this can handle like a bigger pot for larger cooking and all of that good stuff. So that way we've got a way to heat up some kind of food to eat. Now for food, we plan on eating things that are in the freezer. Some of like our meals that I've frozen that I can pull out and we can warm up on one of these grills you see here. We also have things like cans of soup and, you know, meals in a jar. I've done some videos of what I have for meals in a jar so that we can make some of those. And we have MREs. So we have meals where you can just add boiling water to have a meal. And if you don't have stuff like that, think cup of noodles. I mean, those, we don't have any of those. We have other things, but that would come in handy. And you want to ideally have a good 2 weeks worth of those kinds of meals in particular stocked up. Also make sure that you've got gas in your vehicles because the electricity might be out, but you might be able to drive a certain distance and you want to make sure you've got gasoline to get yourself there because it might be electricity's out in this whole section of Missouri, but you know, maybe a couple hours away or something, things are actually happening. So make sure you take care of those things as well. Also a tarp or a tent to create a microclimate in your house. And we have done that. We've got a tarp in case we need to create a microclimate in our bedroom, which is like a larger master bedroom kind of thing. So we have a way to be able to section off a portion of that area so that we're actually having to heat a smaller place. So be thinking about those things as well. Now, as far as water goes, we are making sure that we have 5-gallon jugs of water filled, and we probably are going to have around 5 or 6 of those that are full. But we're also making sure that we have a decent amount of water that's just regular tap water so that we're able to wash dishes, wash our hands, you know, all of those kinds of things, flush a toilet, all of that. So we're making sure we've got water inside for that. And we're also making sure that we fill up extra water containers so that we can water our livestock. We have goats and we have chickens, and all water is going to freeze up. So we're basically going to need to make sure that we're watering them every day since we don't have like a warming plate or something like that to prevent their water from freezing. I hope all of these tips helped you, but I'd love to hear what you all are doing for preparing for winter storms. And if you have any comments that you'd like to include down below, share with me what you're doing, or if you have any questions. If you leave a question down below, I'm sure that you're not only going to get a response from me, but you're going to have plenty of people that want to help answer your question also. So stay safe, everybody. And until I see you next time, everyone, keep your joy, folks.